Bryce, we'll get into the season, but just first off, let's start with homecoming week. Your last one, getting a chance to play there in front of the fans for homecoming. Just what is this going to be like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be electric for me, along with other super seniors on the team. It's just another opportunity to be able to play in front of our home crowd, and it's going to be my last go around for homecoming. So I'm going to be super excited to see some old friends and some old faces back.
What has it been like for you to develop with this team and be part of this program over these past few years and as a freshman and see that homecoming experience and now be here and this be your last one before you're one of those guys that comes back to campus to relive
Yeah,
those moments?
yeah, it's just kind of a surreal moment. It's all flown by so much faster than I could ever expect. I could never actually think that when I was a freshman, it was going to be 6 years down the road, and I'm going to be still sitting here playing OU football. But it's just been an absolute privilege to be able to take on every single day, to be able to strap those pads back up, and be able to play for my fans. It's been awesome. But just so grateful for it.
Talk about your progression too of when you first got there, overlooked, two-star recruit coming from Olentangy Orange, where you had a great career, but a lot
Yeah.
of people overlooked you, and now you've developed into one of the best inside linebackers, I'd say, in the country. Just how have you
Mhm.
been able to get from that moment 6 years ago to where you are now?
Yeah, it's just I would say a lot of patience and a lot of believing in myself. Even when I was here, in my early stages, my college career, I was overlooked a little bit. I would say that there was some trials and tribulations that I had to be able to go through. I was injured. I got injured early in my college career, so it kind of gave me a little setback. And even starting from high school, I would say I was always overlooked, and that's just something I always am going to expect, and I'm always going to be able to see that somebody's going to probably be able to overlook me. But at the same time, if I'm gonna just keep chipping away, and eventually I'm gonna knock the tree down.
I'm gonna let Sarah in here real quick too.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but we're started, so I'm gonna just keep on going here. Um, Bryce, you mentioned being overlooked and just the effort that goes into doing that. I know that you have aspirations to continue playing at the next level, and it feels like that's probably happening again for you of being overlooked. NFL scouts maybe not putting you on their list. Just how do you repeat that process and go through that whole thing over again?
Yeah. And it's just continuing to be a student, continuing to evolve. I'm always going to learn. There's no one trick pony, especially when you're someone my size. You're always going to have to be able to adapt and be able to play different positions. Play different techniques and do different things. So I would just say I'm always going to be able to roll with the punches. I'm always going to be able to learn, be able to adapt, and I think that's my biggest trait to be able to make it to the next level. Is I'm not one trick pony. I'm able to play a lot of different positions, be effective all over the field.
Speaking of learning, what do you think that people have learned about this Bobcats defense? I think everybody knew what Curtis and this offense was capable of doing after last year, but what do you think they're learning about you guys? Top seven in the country and fewest
Yeah.
points allowed.
Yeah. I would say, I mean, our offense is tremendous. And we also knew that they were going to get a lot of buzz in the beginning of the year, but we also knew what we were capable of on the defensive side of the ball. And we kind of always were a competitive group. We call ourselves the Mutts because we have nobody has a pedigree. Nobody has came from I mean, everyone has different backgrounds, everyone has different stories, and we all just come together and we all play back to back and we play for each other. So it's just something that we really take with pride. And I would say that we always had a competitive advantage. We always knew that we were playing one of the best offenses in the MAC every single day, and we were able to go out together and we were able to play against them with everything we got. And we always knew that they were going to get buzz, but we wanted to be able to bring some light on the defense side of the ball because we knew we were capable of over there.
How long have you known that you're capable of doing that? Because just a couple of years ago, obviously, Coach Alvin is in his first year, question
Mm-hmm.
marks surrounding that. And then things start going really well last season. And
Yeah,
one doesn't go your way, but then you guys respond by ripping off 4 wins in a row. And now you're sitting at 8 straight wins in the MAC in regular season games.
yeah. I would say it was a new transition for going from Coach Spence. Last year, it was his first year being a defensive coordinator, and he came in with some new schemes, some new stuff that we were able to learn. And it was kind of a learning curve. We were kind of learning those first 4 games of the season, kind of how he was going to be able to play call, how he's going to be expecting us to be able to make plays, all those different types of things like that. So we really kind of knew, I knew from last year how successful this defense can be, and it kind of just kind of put on display a little bit more towards the back end of last season. After we started winning a lot of games, we started to get a little bit more buzz. After once, I would say after the Kent State game last year is when the defense really started to took off, and we always knew that we were capable of that. And we got a little upset, or a little discouraged. I wouldn't say discouraged, but we were a little frustrated that there was no buzz on us on the defensive side of the ball. So we knew that we wanted to come in and be able to make an immediate impact to show the world what we're capable of.
I know that's the mission for Ohio this season. It's been a long time since winning the MAC championship back to '68. Just
Yeah.
what is the belief like in that locker room that this can be the team that finally gets that monkey off its back and accomplishes something that hasn't been done in a very long time in OU?
Yeah, I would say it's a tremendous experience, and just knowing that we have that opportunity to be able to bring that MAC championship back home to Ohio is it means a lot. I know a lot of people from this team were actually on last season's team, and we all have a bitter taste in our mouth from getting that close. And also not being able to achieve what we wanted to achieve. Even though we got a bowl win, it was a very successful season. We knew that we wanted that MAC championship, and we want, as big as reputation as we want as we can get. But we always knew that once we get back to the MAC championship, and we wanted to be able to do what we're supposed to do. It's amazing opportunity, and we're excited to get back and be able to finish what we started.
There's been no dip in belief from last season up to now.
Oh, there's. Would you say? I'm sorry.
No dip in belief from last season up till now.
Oh, not at all. I wouldn't say there's not anything that says that we kind of expect that. I would say, in all honesty, it was kind of a goal last year. We're going to go to the MAC championship. We're going to be successful. But at this point, I say it's an expectation. We know that we don't want to. We're not going to lose at home. We know that we don't like to lose to any team in Ohio, and we know when we go to the MAC championship, we come home first.
Speaking of guys coming back from that team last year, what was it for you personally that led you to stay for another season? You see a lot of, transfers, guys going every which way and wanting to get different experiences. What was it about this being the right fit for you to come back for a final year?
Yeah. I would just say it kind of goes back to my morals. And me being a 3-year captain, I know a lot of people on this team look up to me as both a role model on the field and off the field. And I always, teach on integrity. I always talk about how, what you do in anything is what you do in everything. So I always knew that I'm going to have a lot of people looking at me and expecting me to go different things or go make different places. But I knew that I have a love for Ohio University like nobody else. And it's not right of me to be able to go to another team to be able to make them successful when I know I have my home right here and we have something that we haven't finished yet.
You sort of hit on there about your leadership, but what do you see your role being on the field as a linebacker and a captain at Ohio University?
Yeah, I would just say I bring a big poise energy to the field. We have a lot of energy on that defensive side of the ball, and a lot of emotions always running all over the place. But I would always like to say that I'm that person, be able to take a breath, be able to look at me if you guys need a joke, if stuff's going hard, the stuff's starting to fall apart a little bit. I'm always that guy, to be able to rile us back and be able to bring us back to home base to be able to be focused again. So that's what I would say.